Two quarters that might just be hiding in your collection or even in your pocket change, waiting to be discovered. These aren't your ordinary 25-cent pieces. They're coins that have stunned the collecting community with their unexpected value and fascinating stories. We'll start with a coin from 1979 that many have overlooked, and later explore a 2008 Hawaii state quarter that holds more than just sentimental value. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's begin our treasure hunt. Let's talk about the 1979 USA quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like just another Washington quarter from the late 70s, a coin most people would spend without a second thought. But hidden among the millions of these quarters minted that year are some extraordinary examples that have fetched thousands of dollars at auction. The story of the 1979 quarter begins during a period of transition in American coinage. By the late 1970s, the United States Mint was producing massive quantities of coins to meet economic demands, but quality control sometimes took a back seat to quantity. This created perfect conditions for minting errors and varieties that would later become highly sought after by collectors. What makes certain 1979 quarters so valuable? The answer lies primarily in minting errors and specific die varieties. The most significant of these is the Type 2 reverse design, which features a slightly different rendering of the eagle than the standard Type 1 design. The Type 2 reverse shows a more detailed, refined eagle with clearer feather definition and a more pronounced breast. This subtle difference might escape the notice of casual observers, but to serious collectors, it's a distinguishing feature that can dramatically increase the coin's value. Additionally, some 1979 quarters exhibit dramatic doubling errors, particularly on the obverse where Washington's profile appears doubled. These double die errors occurred when the die used to strike the coins was impressed with the design twice at slightly different angles, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the final product. Identifying these valuable varieties requires a keen eye and often magnification. For the Type 2 reverse, look closely at the eagle's breast feathers. On the Type 2, they're more distinct and separated, while on the common Type 1, they appear more blended together. The lettering on the reverse is also sharper on the Type 2 variety. For double die errors, examine Washington's hair details, particularly above his ear and at the forehead, where doubling is most apparent. The letters, "In God We Trust," may also show clear doubling on error coins. Another valuable variety to watch for is the 1979 S-proof quarter with a filled S mint mark, where the mint mark appears weak or blob-like due to debris filling the mint mark on the die during production. When it comes to market value, the differences between common and rare 1979 quarters are staggering. While a typical circulated 1979 quarter is worth exactly 25 cents, a pristine Type 2 reverse in gem condition can command $50 to $100 or more. The real money, however, is in the error coins. A 1979 quarter with a significant double die obverse error in uncirculated condition has sold for as much as $3,000 at auction. The 1979 S-proof quarter with a filled S mint mark, graded PR 70 DCM by PCGS, reached an impressive $1,495 in a recent heritage auction sale. These prices reflect the scarcity of these varieties and the intense demand among specialized collectors. The story of how these varieties were discovered adds another layer of fascination to the 1979 quarter. For years, collectors overlooked the Type 2 reverse variety, considering it merely a normal striking variation. It wasn't until the early 2000s that sharp-eyed numismatists began to notice consistent differences and realized they were looking at a distinct variety. This discovery sparked renewed interest in 1979 quarters and led to a re-examination of the entire mintage. Similarly, the most dramatic double die errors weren't widely recognized until decades later, when advanced collecting communities began sharing high-resolution images online, allowing these subtle but valuable differences to be documented and verified. Condition plays a crucial role in determining the value of 1979 quarters. For the Type 2 reverse variety, even circulated examples, XFAU condition, can bring $10 to $20, while uncirculated examples, MS60, MS63, typically sell for $30 to $50. The real premiums come for gem uncirculated coins, MS65 and above, which can range from $75 to over $100 depending on eye appeal and strike quality. For error coins, condition is even more critical. A double die error in circulated condition might still be worth $200 to $300, but the same coin in pristine uncirculated condition could be worth 10 times that amount. Proof coins, which were specially made for collectors and never entered circulation, must retain their original surfaces and mirror-like fields to command top prices. Any handling marks, hairlines, or toning can significantly reduce their value. What makes collecting 1979 quarters particularly exciting is the possibility that valuable examples are still hiding in plain sight. Unlike many rare coins that were recognized and saved shortly after minting, the valuable varieties of 1979 quarters circulated for years before their significance was understood. This means that potentially valuable examples could still be found in old collections, coin jars, or even in bank-wrapped rolls. The thrill of the hunt continues to drive interest in these coins, as collectors search through thousands of common examples hoping to find that one special variety that will make their day, or perhaps even their year. The 1979 quarter represents a perfect example of how modern coinage can still hold surprises for the collecting community. In an era when most people assume that all recent coins are common and worthless, these quarters stand as a reminder that valuable varieties can emerge from even the most ordinary-looking coins. For collectors who enjoy the challenge of hunting for modern rarities, the 1979 quarter offers an accessible entry point with the potential for significant rewards. Now, let's turn our attention to a coin from a completely different era of American numismatics, the 2008 Hawaii State Quarter. On the surface, this seems like just another beautiful design from the wildly popular 50 State Quarters program, a coin millions of people saved in albums or spent without a second glance. But buried within the massive mintage of Hawaii quarters are specific error coins that have ignited fierce bidding wars and rewritten what we thought we knew about modern rarities. Unlike the subtle varieties of the 1979 quarter, the valuable Hawaii quarters often feature dramatic, unmistakable errors that make them instant stars in any collection. The Hawaii State Quarter was released in November 2008, the 50th and final coin in the groundbreaking State Quarter series that ran from 1999 to 2008. This particular design, chosen to represent the Aloha State, features a majestic statue of King Kamehameha I, the monarch who unified the Hawaiian Islands, along with the state motto, Ue Kiea Oke Aina Ika Pono. The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. It was designed by sculptor Don Everhart and struck at all three active U.S. mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S for proofs. The program itself was a phenomenon, introducing countless Americans to coin collecting and generating unprecedented demand for circulating coinage. But amidst this massive production, something extraordinary happened at the Denver Mint. A series of errors occurred that would create some of the most sought-after modern coins ever produced. What makes certain 2008 Hawaii quarters so incredibly valuable? The answer lies primarily in dramatic die errors, specifically the extra leaf varieties. These are not subtle doubling or minor design differences. These are coins struck with dies that had actual, physical debris or grease fill errors that resulted in an extra leaf appearing on the design. The most famous of these is the extra leaf high and extra leaf low varieties, named for the position of the additional leaf on the left branch of the design near King Kamehameha's shoulder. On the extra leaf high variety, a distinct, pointed extra leaf appears above the normal leaf cluster. On the extra leaf low variety, the extra leaf appears below the normal cluster, often looking more rounded. These errors are so prominent they can often be seen with the naked eye, making them instantly recognizable to collectors. Another valuable error is the die crack variety, where significant cracks developed in the die during production, creating raised lines across the coin's surface, sometimes dramatically intersecting the design elements. Identifying these valuable Hawaii quarters requires knowing exactly where to look. For the extra leaf varieties, focus your attention on the left branch near the king's shoulder. Compare your coin to a known example online. The extra leaf should be a distinct, raised feature, not a scratch or post-minting damage. Be cautious of counterfeits. Genuine extra leaf errors have specific characteristics in terms of shape, position, and how they interact with the surrounding design elements. For die crack errors, look for raised lines that run across the coin, particularly if they connect design elements like lettering or the portrait. These cracks are raised because they correspond to recesses in the die where metal filled in during striking. Another, rarer error to watch for is the struck-through error, where foreign material like cloth or grease got between the die and the planchet, leaving a soft, indented impression on the coin's surface. These errors are unique and highly prized. When it comes to market value, the extra leaf Hawaii quarters command staggering prices that defy their modern origin. While a common 2008 D Hawaii quarter is worth 25 cents, a genuine extra leaf high variety in average circulated condition can easily fetch $2,000 to $3,000. In pristine uncirculated condition, these coins have sold for over $5,000 at major auctions. The extra leaf low variety is similarly valuable, with recent auction records showing prices ranging from $1,500 for circulated examples to over $4,000 for gem uncirculated specimens. Die crack errors, while generally less valuable than the extra leaf varieties, can still command significant premiums, with dramatic examples selling for several $100s depending on the severity and visual impact of the crack. Perhaps the most astonishing sale was a PCGS graded MS66 extra leaf high example that realized an incredible $6,463 in a 2021 Heritage Auctions event, proving that modern errors can compete with classic rarities in terms of collector demand and value. The discovery story of the extra leaf Hawaii quarters is a fascinating tale of modern numismatic detective work. These errors first began surfacing in late 2008 and early 2009, shortly after the coins were released. Initially, many collectors dismissed them as minor minting variations or even damage. However, as more examples appeared, particularly in the Denver area where the coins were first released, sharp-eyed collectors realized they were looking at something significant. The extra leaf high variety was discovered first, followed shortly by the extra leaf low. The numismatic community quickly mobilized, with online forums and coin publications featuring detailed analysis and authentication guidelines. Unlike the 1979 quarter varieties that took decades to be fully appreciated, the Hawaii extra leaf errors were recognized as major rarities almost immediately, thanks to the interconnected nature of the modern collecting community and the sheer visual impact of the errors. Condition plays a somewhat different role with the Hawaii error quarters compared to the 1979 varieties. Because the extra leaf errors are so dramatic and immediately identifiable, even circulated examples retain significant value. A well-worn extra leaf high quarter that has clearly been spent and handled might still bring $1,000 to $2,000, simply because the error is unmistakable. However, pristine uncirculated examples command substantial premiums, often doubling or tripling the value of circulated specimens. For die crack errors, condition is more critical. A minor die crack on a worn coin might only be worth a few dollars, while a dramatic, visually striking die crack on a fresh, uncirculated coin can be worth hundreds. Proof versions of these errors are exceptionally rare, as the proof striking process is more carefully controlled. A 2008 Hawaii proof quarter with a significant error would be a true museum piece, potentially worth tens of thousands of dollars if authenticated. So there you have it, two quarters from vastly different eras, united by their unexpected value and the fascinating stories behind their rarity. From the subtle varieties of the 1979 quarter that took decades to fully appreciate, to the dramatic, instantly recognizable errors of the 2008 Hawaii quarter that stunned the collecting world, both coins demonstrate that valuable treasures can hide in the most ordinary places. Whether you're a seasoned collector meticulously searching for specific varieties or someone who just might have one of these quarters tucked away in an old collection, the hunt for these modern rarities continues to excite and inspire. Keep looking closely at your change. You never know when you might uncover the next great numismatic surprise.